Hi guys, welcome. So I have a car that's actually semi-dirty. It's dirty for me. I mean, give me a break. And we're gonna do a rinseless wash. We're gonna try out Garage Therapy. I haven't tried Garage Therapy's rinseless. I have an unopened bottle over there. So we're gonna get that mixed up and we're gonna rinseless wash this car. I guess I'll do about 12 liters of mixture because 12 liters is about 3 gallons. I like having a little bit more than I need so that I can, you know, whatever. I realize it wastes some product, but we're diluting these things at 256 to 1, so we're not really using a whole ton of it. I have my Yeti bucket here. Here's my pitcher. It's a Kosh Chemi pitcher, or actually it's an AccuPour. And I'm just gonna fill this up to the 4,000 line 3 times. And this is deionized water in here. You don't have to use DI water for rinseless, but I use DI water for everything, so it's like, why not? My new bucket filler, I picked up this reel. It's an interesting reel actually. So it's 112-4-75 and I have 100 feet of hose on it from OG. I think it's a 100-foot hose. I'll have to go look at my order history, but anyway, it works really, really well. So that is, it's designed for a garden hose and it has 1/2 inch inlet and outlets instead of the 3/8 that the normal reel has. So I'm using a garden hose to 1/2 inch adapter here and a garden hose to 1/2 inch adapter there. I realize it's black. I'm kind of second guessing some of the blue stuff because I've transitioned to more blacks and grays with the new water tank and some other stuff. So, but I got a smoking deal on that. The local detail shop had it sitting there and somebody had ordered it and then like didn't pick it up and he just wanted to sell it for what he had into it. So it's like a $270 reel that I picked up for 200 bucks and you really can't go wrong with that. Given the total volume that we have, we're gonna need right around 50 mLs of Garage Therapy. This doesn't need to be perfect, but I'm gonna use this graduated cylinder anyway. So there we are. I think it's like 48 technically is what you need. It's got a good smell. I don't know how to describe it. It's not very fruity. It smells clean. It's not strong. I could smell it dumping it into here, but in the bucket, I mean, I can smell it on my hands, but you really have to try. So we'll use a Nemesis sponge. I like the Nemesis sponge. It works well. I have a lot of open sponges right now, so that's just gonna be the one that I use for the foreseeable future. I'm also gonna grab a Solo sprayer. The Solo sprayer right here is generally what I use for pre-treating. This is a Solo 260. You can get these from OG or from Amazon. I'll do a link in the description so that you can see for yourself. What I like to do with the Solo sprayer is pre-treat everything. So just kind of spray over the whole car. I usually start in the back, whatever the worst part of the car is. Typically it's the back because that's where you get your lift, especially in like the rain and wet snow, you know, that kind of stuff. Not that we have snow here, but in places where they do have snow. And then generally I just kind of go from the top down. Usually I just go until the Solo sprayer is done. The Solo sprayer holds 1 liter of product. And yeah, I usually start off pretty full. For something that's dirty like this back, I might hit it a second time, just like I did right there, just to kind of get some of the heavy to run off. Not that it's too bad, but why not? And then, you know, on a small car like this, you can do some things a little bit extra if you want to, spray some things a little bit extra. You have plenty of product. On something larger, maybe you end up having to refill your bottle. So we'll do this pre-spray first. If you're a regular rinseless user, then typically what I would do is I would pre-spray this and I would refill the bottle and I would just always have my bottle full of rinseless. And that way you don't have to worry about mixing it up every time that you need something. I tend to do a different rinseless every time I rinseless wash because there are so many of them out there at this point and so many that I haven't tested that, you know, I have a couple tried and true ones. You could see over there my bottles on the shelf, which ones are half empty. Hero is probably my favorite. DIY's rinseless is about half full. I tend to use that in my pad washer and in other things. And then Nemesis is a great one. I have gallons of that. So, or I guess I have 2 gallons of that. So I got a little bit left in my sprayer. Just kind of hit this again one more time, just on the back. I'll also get the wheel a second time, all 4 of them. Any bugs on the front, we'll hit those a second time. And that's our pre-spray. So at this point, bottle's empty. We can just dump it out. Or like I said, if you are somebody that does rinseless regularly, you could just refill it now because your bucket's still clean. You actually haven't introduced any dirt into your bucket yet. And then maybe next time you mix up a little bit less because you don't need to fill the bottle. So here we have our sponge. You want your sponge to be, you know, kind of lightly dripping but not soaking wet. And I start from the top and go towards the bottom. So we'll do the roof first and come down here, all the glass, and then flip it over, do this other side like this. Then dunk. Depending on how bad the car is, you can, you know, spend more or less time dunking and refilling your sponge. In my case, I don't really care how much product I use. At the end, I'm going to dump it out anyway. So I know that I have more than I need. I know I mixed more than I need, but if you're somebody that's doing this regularly, maybe you want to be a little bit better on your products. That bottle of Rinseless is, I'm going to guess about 20 bucks. I'd have to look it up. I'll put a link in the description. But using 50 ml like I just did to make this much product, I would end up being able to wash this car 10 times out of that bottle. I truly think that you could probably, instead of doing 12 liters, do something like 8, get through the whole car pretty easily. So based on that, I would say that you could probably do, instead of 10 cars, more like 15 cars, something along those lines, out of one bottle. I'll be honest, I was a late to the rinseless game, right? Like I didn't really trust it. I always trusted the water. The amount of water allows you to, I don't know, feel some sort of safety or protection. But I started getting into it. I really liked Hero. And as time went on, I kind of started doing this car only in rinseless. Because I can come out here, you know, it's 7 o'clock at night. It's kind of chilly outside. It's like 55 degrees. And I can just relax. If you're not on YouTube, you can shut the door and listen to some music, or leave the door open, listen to some music. And we can see, like, sponge is clean. It looks dingy, but it's clean. We'll do this rear bumper. This is probably the heaviest soiled area. I'll normally go kind of across the top and then pick up the bottom, and we'll flip it and get the middle, something like that. I don't know how much audio was actually caught. So this video is going to be tweaked a bit because my microphone has 12 hours of battery life and somehow it went dead halfway through this video. I guess I left it on. I don't even know. So we started off doing a rinseless wash with Garage Therapy 1 Rinseless. We used 50 mLs in the bucket. Total amount of water was about 12 liters, and that works out to a ratio of 256:1. They give you a couple different ratios on here. So they say that light soiling, you can do 1 to 384, medium/heavy, you can do 1 to 256, extreme 1 to 128. Super concentrated can tweak the dilution ratios to your preference for more slickness and cleaning power. It worked really well. The scent is good. There's a scent. It's not strong, but it is there. It exists, right? I didn't really love it, but I also don't hate it. I think I prefer like a fruitier scent in a rinseless, and I don't really know why. But you know, like Loki, Nemesis, Hero, they all kind of have fruitier scents. This is more of a masculine scent. I would say it's more like on the side of cologne and less on the side of fruit, if that makes sense. It's not strong, it's not overpowering, and it's also not bad. So it's totally tolerable. In terms of the rinseless itself, it did an excellent job. It started immediately breaking down the dirt. Even the pre-spray, there was dirt rinsing off the car, broke down bugs without a problem. I ended up with no streaks. Even the parts of the car, like I tried to let this back window dry and see, you know, how it did when I dried it off the car, and it just did a great job. I didn't have to re-wet it or do anything like that. With a rinseless, you can re-wet it if you need to. I only used less than half the bucket, so honestly, you know, if we figure that bottle's about 20 bucks, which I think is what it is, at the amount that I made, you know, you would be able to do that 10 times. I think that you could probably easily get 15 to 20 cars out of a bottle, which makes it, you know, maybe $1.50 a wash, something along those lines. Not that I generally care about the cost per wash, but some people do, and I just want to share that. I use a Nemesis sponge. I like the Nemesis sponge. It works really well. I also like the DIY detail sponge. I like the new Legacy sponge. You know, most of the sponges are pretty good. I use the Nemesis today. I saw no issues with dirt leaving the sponge. Like when I cleaned the back of the car when it was all dirty, I stuck it in the bucket, squeezed it out, the sponge was clean. So that's really nice. Not really, you know, one dunk or anything like that, but just stick it in, wring it out, use it. The overall experience was really good. I felt safe while using it. Like I wasn't scratching the car, marring the paint, anything like that. I've washed this car now for about a year using only rinseless. And I've got to say, like, I don't really have scratches and swirls and paint defects. I recoated the car recently and I barely had to touch it with the polisher. I only polished it to remove the old coating. And yeah, I mean, it's held up really, really well, despite using rinseless exclusively for the last year. It's a daily driven car. She drives it to work every day. Her round trip is 30-ish miles, 32, something like that. So, you know, it's a little bit below average, but the car has 36,000, 37,000 miles on it, something like that at this point. It's a 2020 and we're in 2025. We bought it at the end of 2020. After using the rinseless, I decided to try out Sigma. So Sigma is oh, and I did 256:1 on the rinseless because I felt that it was kind of middle range, and most of the other rinseless washes that I've used, they target 256:1, so I just felt that it was a fair comparison. Maybe try 384 next time or on a less dirty car, since they call it out that it can be done that way. So then I tried Sigma. So this is Garage Therapy 2 Sigma V3. Hybrid spray sealant detailer infused with SiO2, raw materials, and nanochemistry to provide outstanding hydrophobic thickness and gloss. Designed to prolong ceramic coatings and sealants with a strong focus on enhancing visual depth, slickness, and water repellency. Premium quality, wax sealant and coating compatible, blah, blah, blah. It tells you to apply it as a topper. It also says that you can do 2 coats of it for increased durability and water repellency. Spray directly on the paint, 1 to 2 sprays, spread evenly over the surface. Do not buff off and allow to cure for 10 to 15 seconds. In warmer condition, it may be necessary to spread with a short pile towel to ensure a thin, even coat. Spread until you almost see the product start to flash off. So I've got to say, when I was done with the rinseless, the car was slick, right? It felt slick, it felt smooth. And that's the coating, really. Like, we unclogged the coating, we removed the mineral buildup from the rain and water spots and everything that was on it. And we brought back our coating, which in this case is thick by Detail Co. And it was nice and slick. It feels slippery, feels great. But the areas of the car where I did Sigma, this is really good. I like this a lot. This might be one of my favorite products that I've used in a long time. The slickness is just insane. So I did the whole deck lid with it just to try it out. I also did the glass. I did like the right half of the glass all the way up and over just to see how it did on glass, because sometimes products like this can streak. And it did a great job. Spray it on dry panel, no issue. I'm like 70% humidity right now, and we're like 50, 55 degrees, something thereabouts. You can see the sun's going down outside. I've got to say, I'm really impressed with this Sigma. This might be one of the, like, I said recently that I might not hang on to products anymore, even if I really, really like them, because I just have so many. And I'm not really coming back to the products that I like on a regular basis because I'm testing so many things. But man, I've got to say, I might hang on to this. I really might. It's very, very good. So far, I've been really impressed with the Garage Therapy line. I would say the big thing is like their instructions and guidance and how to use the products are exceptional. Other manufacturers should really like take notes, take lessons from Garage Therapy. The fact that they give you multiple dilutions, multiple things for best, they always have a section on there that says for best results, how to use it. But then they also give you like alternative directions where normally those would be off label, but they're giving you that. Their sprayers are good. I haven't really talked about the sprayers on any of the other products. This is the first sprayable that I've used on camera. These are the like the ADS style sprayers. Spray Plast, I think is the brand name of them. They're made in Italy. They work well. I like them. They're fully adjustable, kind of like the Tolco. I like the feeling of this better, like this kind of duckbill shaped trigger where it's got this little lip at the bottom to kind of keep your fingers on really nicely. I think these work well. They've got the standard size thread, so you can use a regular like Tolco sprayer or an IK sprayer or a press-all sprayer. Like they'll all screw onto this bottle with no problem. This is really nice. I like this a lot. I think this is a highly recommendable product. I think that the Rinseless worked fantastic. Like it did a great job. I don't know that I would pick it over some of the others that I have on the shelf there. Like I really like Loki, I really like Nemesis, I really like Hero. I don't think that the experience was worse. Personally, the smell isn't my favorite, and some of those up there, I do like the smells of them better. I think Loki and Nemesis have very similar cleaning power. I think Hero is a little bit better experience in terms of the use and the smells. So, for me personally, I liked it. I could totally use it and be happy with it. I don't think it's one that I'm going to, put up on my shelf and keep long term because, I have a bunch of others that I do really like, and I have others to test as well. So it is probably something that I'll end up letting go. I got to say, that worked really well. I enjoyed it a lot. Sigma though, Sigma's really, really good. I just yelled at Eddie. I was like, I don't understand why you didn't tell me about this, like how good it is, because he knows I like slick. He knows I like OG drying aid. He knows I like other products that are really slick. Pan's spray sealant, really slick. This is great. It's like, I bet you it's as slick as Pan's spray sealant, but without the smell, like the strong smell. It does have a smell, and the smell it's good. It's on the fruitier side, maybe like a banana, something like that, but it's not insanely strong. It's awesome. I think this is great. It does say avoid applying on hot panels. Most of them are going to say don't do it in direct sunlight. I would spray it on the towel first if you were going to. But I got to say, like I'm really liking Rinseless more and more the more that I do it. I just washed this car with 3 gallons of water, 50 milliliters of one product, and a couple sprays of another. And I use 2 towels and a sponge, like 1 towel to dry the entire car. So I don't know. Rinseless has grown on me, and I think that it's a really good option for something like this, especially if you live in really pleasant weather like this and you keep up on your cars. I wash this car once a week. I think it's a really, really good option. So that's all I have for today. Next time I will be testing some of the Garage Therapy foam products. They have a snow foam, they have demineralizing shampoo, they have the regular shampoo. So I'm gonna work through some of those and do like an actual foam wash. I've been waiting to do that because the Mercedes, the white one outside, is pretty dirty. There's kind of a lot of crap on it. The wheels are pretty caked up, and I think it's gonna actually be like, a lot of people say, oh, maybe you should clean a dirty car. It's like, well, I don't own a dirty car. and I take care of my cars. I don't let them get dirty, you know, but I went a couple weeks just to appease the crybabies. So now we'll get to clean a dirty car instead of cleaning a clean car all the time. So that's all I have for today. If you're interested in any of these products, there will be links in the description. Anytime you click those links and you buy something, it does help me, helps the channel. It's one of the ways that I afford to do this. I bought all these, you know, Garage Therapy as a line was probably $300 for me to buy them all. When I'm done, I'll probably sell them for half price on secondhand detailing. So if you're interested in anything like that, just let me know. I think Garage Therapy is pre-sold. Like I think Adamo from Adamo's Garage really wants it all. So likely it will all go to him. But many of the products that I do test end up on secondhand detailing. I usually sell them for 50 cents on the dollar, and people can pick stuff up and try it out themselves and see what they like and don't like. So that delta is made up by people clicking on my links and buying stuff. That's all I have for today. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you're having a great day.